seems hard to believe, but 30 years ago I loaded up my little Mark III Cortina and headed off across the channel for the first time. And this was where I ended up, Lac de St Cassien. And I never thought 30 years later I'd still be coming here. But if you look over my shoulder, right across on the other side there, that little point was the first place I fished on here. And at the time it seemed like well, it was right out the sticks, out in the wilds, miles from anywhere. And you know, a sign of the times now, it's just known as the third point and gets fished quite a lot. But it's still got a magic about it, the place, and I still love it. I mean, that first trip was a real eye-opener for me. I caught some nice fish. I caught my first 40 on that trip. I never expected to catch any big fish, but a 40 was an absolute monster to me then, and it's still a good fish now. But that sort of sowed the seeds, and like I say, all these years I'm still coming back for more. And the lake itself hasn't changed that much over the years. You know, the trees have grown up, the swims have changed a little bit, but the lake itself looks pretty much the same as it did 30 years ago. What has changed is it's a lot more tourist orientated now. You know, there's a lot more pedalo sort of stations, tourists coming down, whereas it used to be a lake that had some tourism, but it was mainly the cafes, for instance, were based around anglers. Pierre's was a fishing restaurant, whereas now it's all tourist based, and there's a lot more tourists, a lot more pedalos than ever, but there's still some lovely carp out there. And you know, I still love fishing here all these years later, 30 years. I've only missed a couple of years in all that time, so it's been, well, it started something special for me. It was the first place I came outside of England, and I'm still coming back all these years. So it's still the best place I've ever been, to be honest. I love Cassien. So here we are. You know, I've got just over 2 weeks to try and catch some of those lovely fish again. It's never easy. You know, I never know where to start. People say to me, where do you start on this place? Well, I never know where the fish are going to be. It's trial and error. I'm going to have to look around, see what I can find. And hopefully find a few fish along the way, but as always, I'm going to enjoy it. I love this place, so it's going to be brilliant. restaurants, found a little gap and literally just threw single hook baits out. There was no chance of getting out in the boat, so I just cast the rods out, single hook baits, but luckily enough one of them's gone off. And it was a battle and a half. We got snagged, so I had to go in the boat. But I did manage to get it anyway, and it was a lovely, well, 36.5 pound mirror, so well pleased with that. Off the mark. There we go, what a lovely fish, well pleased with that. Lovely to get off the mark, and with a good one too. Streamed off out of the blue, like I say, single hook bait, lovely hard fighting Cassien mirror. And it was a job and a half in the boat. Worked out okay. So there we go, the day to start. Cassien mirror. What a lovely place. What a lovely car. It was a proper blowing a hood, but there we go. We've got one.
Ah lui, il se met avec sa chaise. Ah, c'est encore là-bas, nous.
Oh, well, it was snagged for a while, this one down on the bottom, but I've got it free. Loads of people around, but middle of the afternoon, and they're all it's going to be great when I land this one. Oh, there she goes, common, that's why it's fighting so hard. Well, it was a hell of a scrap for sure. It was around 2 snags, but got them off, and it was a great scrap after that. No surprise that it was a common actually, nice Cassien common, 35.5. Well pleased. I mean, we sat here all day, and we did wonder if there was any fish. You know, we've sort of suffered the pedalos and the boat. There we go. 35.5 pound of angry Cassien common. They're so fit in the summer, these fish. Unbelievable. But there we go. I think that's going to have to do, because he's not going to stand for it. But well pleased with that. Well, it's all pretty chilled out fishing here anyway. We're not starting till midday, mid-afternoon sometimes, so it gives the mornings to have a proper chill out and sort out a few rigs and different things. It's nice to have this time in the morning just to sort of get everything together and be, you know, well organised, because once you get out on the lake it's a bit of a mad rush to get to the swim and get everything sorted and what have you, get the rods out, but yeah, I mean, you know, there's no real point in setting out early in the morning, because the feeding time seems to be mid-afternoon to late evening, so you know, if you're there in the morning you're just wasting bait, it seems like, really. And also the little fish tend to start nibbling on the rig, so you'd have to redo everything early afternoon, so you might as well just turn up in the afternoon and be there for the right time. But that's all it is. Simple size 4 fang uni, green combi link, £35, and a double, well, I've used 4G squid. This is the stabilised key, which has probably been the best of the bunch. Like I say, just double bottom baits on a simple rig, and I think the key is just getting there at the right time, getting the baits in place for the feeding time, which, as I say, is mid-afternoon to evening. So a lovely morning, chilling out at the campsite, tying a few rigs and getting ready for the afternoon session. Right, got the last rig just about ready to go out, and if you can hear me, because we've got Louis the Loop behind me doing all 12s and whatever, but there we go, quite a heavy lead. I'm using a poly ball on the line there to keep the line up above the tree stumps and everything that are out there, so I've got quite a heavy lead, a 1 metre diffusion camo leader, and the poly ball sits just above that and goes up to a stop knot, which is set at about the depth, which is between 15 and 20 foot. £35 combi hook length, about a foot long, size 2 fang uni, and a double 4G squid bottom bait. Double, they're air dried, but they're 20 millers. So there we go, simple rig as always. Diffusion camo helps protect it, and it's also invisible in the water, which is one of the main reasons. But yeah, basic rig, but that's what I've been catching all the fish on, so nothing unusual there. Same old simple rigs, but they do the job. Well, it's a scorcher today, red hot, it's well into the 30s, but lovely. I've had a couple of little dips, so cooled off a bit, but it is very warm. What I've been doing every day is just moving around different swims every day, trying to locate a few fish, and today I'm in a spot, it's at the start of the West Arm, it's sort of where the central area meets the start of the West Arm, and it's actually It's a little spot I've wanted to fish for quite a while. Just further along the bank, the next proper swim is what they call Matilda. And when I fish there, I've normally put a rod along to this actual very spot, and it's normally been productive. So I thought, well, instead of fishing Matilda, why not just come in the spot and just dot a few rods around the area. So that's what I've done. I mean, they're only just a few yards out behind me, really. 15 and 20 foot this side, and I've got two rods that side in the same depth, but literally it slopes off like a cliff here, so you know, I'm only 15-20 yards out maximum. But it's nice, it's lovely sort of intimate fishing. I don't know if it's going to work, you know, I mean, that's the whole story of fishing here in the summer, really, or at least it is for me. You know, just move around and hope to land on a few fish. They're very nomadic, the fish, they always have been, any time of year really. Especially in the summer, you don't tend to find big groups of fish really. It's more little pockets of fish, and you might drop lucky and get a couple, and then they might move off. But so yeah, that's the story. I'm going to give this a go. Not saying it's going to work, but well, that's the way it is. You know, you try areas, and if it doesn't work, I'll move on tomorrow, find another spot. If it does work, might drop a bit of bait in here this evening before leaving, come back and give it another go. But we shall see anyway, give it a go. Well, it was getting on a bit. Started getting a few liners actually. It's been quiet all day, and then just as the sun was going down, started getting a few liners, a few little bleeps and different things happening, and well, it's just rattled off, which is lovely. We were just talking about what to do, whether to go to another swim, and I thought it was worth giving this one another go, so I was going to bait up before leaving and come back tomorrow, which I'm definitely going to do that now anyway. There we are, sun just going down. We had about an hour left, I suppose. Still a chance, a bit more action yet, I suppose. God, they're lovely, these little scopes for playing fish from a boat. 9 foot 3.5 black ops this is. It's absolutely perfect for this. White tipped fins on its tail there. God, looks fantastic down in the water there. There we go. I think, yeah. God, lips on that. There we go. Lovely. It's all happening now. Just got back to the bank, got one in the net there, and the other rod's gone off, or one of the other rods. So we've got a bit of a dilemma what to do, but I'll play this one from the bank anyway, as best I can. Might have to end up with two in one net here. We travel light, so it's certainly not worth bringing extra nets and things like that, but well, it's quite a rarity for this to happen. It's been fairly quiet. I mean, literally, I haven't seen anyone else catch any fish. And there we go, it's all happening. So it was a good move coming in here. Saw a couple of fish show earlier and did wonder if they were just feeding during the hours of darkness and we were going to miss out. But there we go. We've timed it all right. Well, sorry mate, you're just gonna have to go in there with your mate for a little while. There we go. 2 Cassien carp. Mirror and a common. Well, it was a hectic little spell of action, but great, you know, when you sit there all day and wonder if you've got it right or not, wonder if it's going to happen. And then, well, not only one, but 2. Got a massive, great rudder he's got on him. I know he's going to be a nightmare because they always are. But let's see if I can lift him up and show you. There we go, £29 of evening action. Look at that rudder on it, with the white tips as well. Bit unusual, but there we go. That was the first of the brace. There we go, that's the other half of the mad half hour. Same weight actually, 29.5, so 29.5 common, 29.5 mirror. And a nice end to a good day. So there we go. I'm going to put this one back, get some bait out there, and then probably we'll go back to the campsite, have a nice cup of tea, because it's just about last knockings now, so I think I've wrecked the swim with these 2. So, happy days. Mwah. One last little job before leaving. Bit of bait for tomorrow. There's a bloke coming behind us in a boat. Hopefully he's not clocking this and thinking I'll have some of that tomorrow. Yeah, that's fine. And there we go, all ready for tomorrow. Back to base now for a nice cup of tea. You can see not very far out from the bank here, and already it's 22 foot there. Drops off very quick, but that's where the fish want to be, so that's fine. I'll just go back a little bit actually. Yeah, just up the slope, about 18 foot I'll put this one. It's all very straightforward stuff really. I've been using stabilised key for a fair bit, but I found some old 4G squids that are hardening in my rucksack, so they're perfect for this. So I've got a double 4G squid on this one. Drop that down in 20 foot. There we go, donk on the bottom there. Lift it once just to straighten it, and then throw a few around it. The swim was baited up last night before we left, so I'm not going to put too much bait around this. Don't tend to use a lot of bait on here anyway, so I'm just going to sprinkle a few around like that, and really that's going to do it. There we go, simple as that. Amazing, a fish just jumped behind me there. I might have even just caught that on camera. So they're here. At last, like I say, it's been quiet all day. No signs of any, but they're certainly here now. So if this one let me hold it up, God, they're so fit and angry in the summer. But there we go, 30 pound 8, and a bit of ghosty, which I'm sure you can see. There's a bit of orange, a bit of gold, but a cracking fish. See them big rubbery orange lips. Cracking fish though, well pleased with that. And well, there's obviously a couple about now, so that'll do for this one. Get him back and get the rod out, I think, because I think there's a few more about. But there we go, evening action again. Oh, this is the time when you want Ollie Davis sitting behind you, clicking away with the camera. This would be an awesome shot against the sunset, and he's the man to do it. There we go. There we go, eventful couple of minutes. The guards just come round to remind us that we've got to pack up at 9:30 and not sleep on the lake, as if we didn't know already. But there we go. So on with the fish. Anyway, nice mirror, 36.5. Best one from this swim actually. Cracking old looking fish, old Cassien warrior. This one, a bit battle scarred, but yeah, really nice. Pulled my arms off like they all do, and he actually looks like he's going to let me take a picture or two, which is nice. God, that makes a nice change. But yeah, great. We've had a bit of action here now, and this is the best one that we've had from this swim. I think there's more here, so it is just about last knockings, as the guards have informed us, as if we didn't already know. But there we go. So I'm going to get this one back, and it'll be time to reel in the other couple of rods and head for the hills, head for the campsite, and have a nice cup of tea, where we're allowed to have cookers and beds and everything else. Still rather be on here, but there we go, them's the rules. But happy days, we're catching fish, so that's good. That's all that matters really at the end of the day, catching fish like this. Cassien carp. We've been asked by a few people about boats and the equipment that goes with them. It's a 3 metre boat, just a touch over 3 metre, inflatable, and made by Vortex, which is a Dutch company run by Ian Vokelen, and he makes some great stuff actually. These boats are brilliant. This one's got a solid floor. You can get them with solid floors or inflatable floors. I've tried them. The engine I'm using, well, that's a Vortex engine as well, and electric engines, which you have to use on these waters, they're all gauged by thrust power, and obviously the higher thrust power, the more power you've got. For a boat this sort of size, 3 metre, 2.5 metre upwards really, you're looking at something around 50 pound thrust. 55, this one's a 55 pound thrust. Well, I just had an epic battle, scream intake, and I guess what it was, about 5 minutes in, and it's a huge, great catfish. I mean, it's a big fish, and you know, they give you a good scrap, but it's not what I'm here to catch. But I thought, I'd show you this one anyway before I put it back. I mean, I've had one earlier that was about 50-60 pound. There we go. Not what I wanted, but a bit of excitement. Hopefully the next one will be a carp. Well, it's an early one. We haven't been in the swim long. It's a bit breezy. Got an audience as well, as always. Bonjour. There she is. Ooh, didn't like that. God. It's amazing how they dive down so deep. From being on the surface, it's down at 20 foot in a couple of seconds. There she is. Ooh, a nice common. Decent fish, that. Yeah, nice one.
What is it?
Carp. Common carp. Yeah, it's a nice one. Yeah.
25 pounds?
No, it'd be more than that. It'd be about £40 that will be.
Okay.
Where do you sell it?
Deceiving them.
No, we just photograph it and put it back. But it's a nice one. Cool.
It's not eatable.
It is, but I'd never eat them. I only take the pictures and let them go. So. turned out to be one of the old commons, this one, 44 1/4, and let me hold it. What about that, eh? One of the old Cassien battle-scarred warriors, bit of a tatty old tail, but an absolutely lovely fish. But he's got a few stories to tell, this one. He's got another one, another one to tell, hasn't he? I'm sure I've had this one before, a few years ago at the North Farm, and it's a bit heavier then, but summer weights are always down, but a 20 kilo fish, 44 1/4, and an old one, so I'm not going to hang about with it. A couple of quick picks and I'm going to get him back. What a lovely old fish, an old Cassien warrior. I saw a couple of fish show earlier, between about 4 and 5, saw 2 fish show, and I thought, well, looks good actually. And then at 6 o'clock it went off, it was a catfish, so it was a bit of a disappointment, about a 30-pound cat. But it was looking quiet, but fair enough, you know, one's gone off, and it's not a big one, it's a 20-pound common, but you know, beggars can't be choosers and all that. Couple of days without a fish, it's a sight to sore eyes, that is. Well pleased with that. And well, it's not the last day, it's the last day tomorrow, so I'm not quite sure if this will be the last fish or not, but if it is, that's fair enough. It's been a great trip anyway, and well, this is the smallest one we've had, but they're all welcome. It's a Cassien carp, and I'm well chuffed with that. Well, that just about wraps up another trip. It's the end of the last day of fishing. We're having a day at the campsite tomorrow to pack up, but that's about it for the rods. Nothing today, except a couple of big roach which managed to slime me up a bit. They've been on the baits today, so there's a big shoal of roach. Been out here most days we've fished here, so I've had a couple of those. But no carp, there's no signs of carp today. I had that one yesterday, 20 pounder, which was nice, so that looks like being the final fish of the trip, but all in all it's been a great trip anyway. It's always nice to come back here. I'd say 30 years now. This is my 30th year of fishing Cassien, and still love the place. You know, it's changed a lot in those years, certainly got busier over time, but it's still lovely. You know, if you like a place, you've got to keep going back there, so you know, whatever changes have happened here, I've managed to keep coming here and keep fishing it, and also keep catching carp, so hopefully I can keep doing that for many more years to come. But it is a lovely place, so it's been another great trip. But there we go, it's over now, so time to pack up, and I'll see you next time.